All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe. Today we're back on our 70 Roadrunner. The green machine here, or someday will be green again. But this is a real 1970 Roadrunner. It did come in the sassy grass green, and hopefully we go back to that. Last video, I worked on cutting these huge, ignore my welds, it's all still kind of ugly. Cutting out those subframe connectors so that the carpet would lay down. Those were put in, there's no telling when, 1971 maybe. I ground down the roll cage stumps and all that so it's smooth. That's what the owner wanted. I'm gonna clean all this up and paint it at some point, but before I do that, we're gonna do quarters. I gotta get the back glass out. The quarter glasses will probably come out. And we got ourselves this new back panel, which looks really nice. All the sheet metal today came from my buddy Dave at Rust Bucket Restos. So if you haven't gone and subscribed to him yet, go check him out. Leave a comment, tell him just Mopar Joe sent you, and thank you for getting me some AMD metal. So here's why we needed it. This thing was nasty and bad. We've got the new trunk pans, if you saw in the first video, and I talked to the owner and let's get the new trunk extensions. Well, when I got the extensions off, you see how bad that looked. This is a quarter on top of a quarter. So it already has a new set of quarters that were not factory quarters. And you can see where they had seamed it right there. So all this nasty, craggly stuff gets to go. This tail panel is just brazed on in a few small spots. So that'll free up the back of this. Basically same thing here. I want to try to probably save this trunk rail here is made onto the new quarter, I think, unless I need to separate them. I'll see. I'd like to keep this one just because it has the serial VIN numbers that match everything else on the car. So all that's good. If you're new, you probably didn't realize this has the big, someone has widened these wheel tubs 2 inches or 2.5. So we have new outer wheel tubs today also. We can go look at those. Here they are in all their glory. 68 to 70, Roadrunner outer, and left side, right side. Beautiful. They look nice and straight. Here are our big daddy beautiful quarter panels from AMD, and they came in perfect shape. Daniel and Blake at the shop uptown let me deliver there. They are awesome, and I appreciate their help with this. Got them back here and unloaded, but these suckers are long. They're probably a foot longer than my Challenger ones that I've done. So we're gonna end up with a lot nicer product when it's all said and done. And he'll have the nice back half of a Roadrunner that's all brand new. And all together. Progress. Looks like I got this chrome off. Got that little piece off. Went ahead and popped the little front corner off. So I'll have access to all this. Nothing can get messed up. The back quarter glasses are both out, and I left the regulator stuff in. I'm pretty sure after I cut my quarters all the way off, I can get to that stuff, grease it, do anything I need to. The glasses came out real nice, smoothly. I'll probably go ahead and pop off this piece of chrome and the rubber here in just a minute. It's fairly simple, just to have a nice look at all that stuff. I'm working on cutting the back glass out, and you can see the sins of the past here. There you go. See that fiberglass matting? This is probably rusty, dusty stuff here, and they've used 10 layers of, just different sealer, whatever, over the years. You can kind of see some of the original green up in here hiding under the 10 layers of paint. Clips still look pretty good, but what I did was just take my straight edge razor on and a pair of vice grips actually, and I pulled it all the way down nice and slow, 3 or 4 inches at a time, cutting as deep as I could. And I'm going to get a new blade, go to the inside. You can see I got a little hangover here, but I've cut inside of that hangover for now. All that stuff gets cleaned up later. But for the inside, So I got a little rubber overhang here. Some of it looks loose already. Got myself a new blade on a vice grip. And I was just going to cut right up on the edge. I can maybe try that way first. Oh man, yeah. It's breaking loose. I mean it. There we go. Nice and smooth. I like the straight edge razor because it kind of conforms to what you're doing. And I know they make cutters and all that stuff. I have the old T-handle cutter. But we don't want to lose a back glass. This I'm certain of. This is a nice factory glass, and for the most part, she's pretty good. So there we go. Oh yeah. There we got what we have there. See how it's just kind of pulling out. There's lift right there. But if it's still stuck here, that may not make it very happy. Yeah. See, we're stuck. It's sticking to the, releasing from the glass in most places. So I'm just gonna work around and we'll get a back glass out in just a second. I don't know if you call this old school or whatever you want to call it. I got a piece of wire and I'm holding my wire at the right angle. I just pull. For the most part, it goes pretty quick. Coming around this edge may be a pain. This right here will be dangerous, but this is a hammer handle, just with a piece of wire wrapped around it. I try my very best not to have to do this. I'm sure they make better tools for it. My inside wire just broke again. This is, I think, mechanics wire. I'm sure stainless or piano wire or something would be a little better. It also might be better to put the hammer handle on the inside of the window so it doesn't fall on the glass like that. Slow and steady wins the race here. Uh-oh. My piece pulled off again. There we go. See, I'm holding that piece kind of more in line with the window there. Now we're cooking. Not in a hurry. See that slice? Wonderful. Yeah. Look at that lift. Oh yeah. I don't want to push up too much because we might get us a little crack here. So I'm just going to go slowly. I'll pull my wire through. There we go. One of those, if you had two people, it'd go faster. I may be sawing through fiberglass here also. 2 inches ago or so. Uh-oh. Womp womp. I can also grab my heat gun, heat this up, and it'll be kind of like butter then. Rubber butter? Look at that. My inside man doesn't exist. So I worked past this corner and I made it to there. But I do believe I may can step through, since my trunk floor doesn't exist, and get a little something right there too. Maybe save that last bit of ugly for the end. I think I'm on the final stretch. We'll see. I'm sure since I said it, something will mess up. Look at that. Uh-oh. My inside handle getting up. Ah! Easy, baby. Nah. Look at that wad coming with it. I think we're free. Woohoo! If I'm tall enough. Yeah. Woohoo! Here is our new tail panel, and I just have it clamped underneath the old tail panel so you can see the difference. And it's off center, obviously, but that's the main reason that I wanted it. Those look really bad where it's rotted out around the holes there, and I think I can find my spot welds here, drill those out. These winged kick out pieces here are on the way as well, but until I get those, I thought about pop this old panel off and put my new one on. So I want to try to save my outer pieces. I think they're plenty good, and I can sandblast them, whatever, before I go back on with them. But it looks like they're just going to sandwich the existing panel. So it looks like 2 layers there. Maybe used to have been 3 layers, but you see how raunchy and bad the inside looks. So our new panel is going to cure a lot of that, and we're going to feel a lot better about it. The goal of this mission is to make this Roadrunner as nice as it can be. But for the most part, it looks like everything matches up nicely. And I can use, see that threaded hole there for the bottom bumper bolt. The bracket goes around the bottom of that. Just like that. So I get her popped loose there. Then I can pop that one right up onto it, probably throw a bolt in it on both sides, and that'll kind of get my alignment side to side. And I can keep pushing from there. The quarter panel stuff's coming soon, but I want to get this tail panel in first. I think it'll be kind of add some structure to the back of the car as well. Be a good early step. So let me knock that stuff off and we'll be. So here's what's hidden under this jewel. See, it was only 4 spot welds. I took my plasma cutter on those little end welds there, and there's that yumminess. So that's done. And I can take this with me and sandblast all that off, get us a brand new piece of metal back, past all that rust, and then neutralize it. It'll be ready to go on to our new piece. But I'm gonna keep chipping away at the layers of this onion. The panel is on. See, I got, these holes are lining up pretty good. I just stuck 2 bolts in at the bottom. Before I did anything, cutting the other one off, I got myself a measurement from the center, which is that little tiny hole right there, to the center bolt holes on each side. It was 17 3/4. So that's nice. That's kind of going to be my spacing before I bolt this and weld it in and all that. I just ground on the opposite side of this stuff with a flap disc, clean up some of the rust. It has some little dinky stuff like this, and I think I can trim that off when this bolts up. All that's going to be good. I can knock that back around, straighten this stuff up. But the panel's fitting pretty nicely, so I like that when we get our side pieces in. It's going to kind of be like cheating, because they'll go in, and then I think our final piece will sandwich over the outside of everything. See how I need to bring that bracket down some. But all that's looking good. I may go ahead also and pull the rear end out of this before we do the quarter panels, just because it's just dead weight that's hanging there, and it'll allow me more access to get up to my inner or outer wheel tubs and everything. So right now the body's got a little bit of twist to it. I think those are super stock springs, so you can see this panel just slightly goes uphill. Well, the reason is that right side springs probably has more torque to it. So everything's got to be in harmony when it goes back together, or you'll have a welded crooked car, or a crooked welded car when it's all over with. We don't want that. So it is quarter cutting day. At least I'm getting started today. Hopefully I'll get it off. I messed with this door and fender for probably 30 to 45 minutes, and I kind of gave up. I got it a lot straighter through here, straighter on the bottom, but what I kept watching was this door gap up here. Like the factory seals in, and it seals real nice, but I was also trying to even out with this old quarter, because typically guys like their doors in line before they rip the quarters off. Because my new quarter, whenever it goes on, I can now line the front up with the door, or at least, you know, 80%. Do my best. That's my goal and plan. But I have the door now where it opens and closes nicely, and I even believe, which I may be wrong, that looks like a factory hinge. I see the green on it. Can't really totally tell on this dude. I'm assuming it's a factory hinge. But what's nice about this, besides it closing, opening and closing, watch. I've seen a bunch more slack and a lot of old Mopars besides that. So the hinge is fine for what I'm doing right now. If it needs to be bushed later or whatever, it can be. But checking that gap here, checking that gap here, they're nice and tight. That window rolls up and down well also. But I got to pull the rubber, and I think I'll go ahead and get this channel piece off, because our new quarter comes up. I'm gonna get it marked out, make myself a little template on the new one, come lay it over, and then I'll know kind of where to cut through here. So I'll be right back, show you what I do. And she's on now. I'll go ahead and throw a couple screws in, we'll call it good. Not really. I thought I'd just hang it on, see what this big beauty is like. I like it. AMD does amazing things for old Mopars and probably other brands too. You can see fit and finish is great. It's kind of as I suspected. We will keep the trunk rail underneath, so I can see a little spot weld there. I think what I'm going to do, and I've seen it done in other places before, is just cut on the inside of this. So basically, I'll make my life easy. I'll seam on down on the other panels, not the new one, but I'll go in about a 1/2 inch cut inside of everywhere. See where I blew this apart with my wire wheel. And here's going to be kind of tricky. I think I'm going to end up losing a little bit of metal there, but that's fine. I love how they give you this piece, and you can see where it'll kind of go back over and rebuild some of that. And I will mark just below all that jazz. I'm assuming we can get into some lead here. So even now, if I just mark it and go lower than that, I can cut up to it later. They give you this nice round here, which is a little bit thinner than the original. See where that trim piece goes in. So I may play with that a little bit later, but I'll have my old panel to cut off of and use if I want to add just a little little piece here, or just have a piece to mock up. And then down the inside of the door, that's gonna be easy. Up here will be easy. And it's so much better than the old craggly wheel well. And we got new outer tub, so boom, chicka boom. Let's go to work. Mark it up. I gave that just a little trim right there, and I was able to pull that over it, so I saved that kind of factory bracket there. Got a nice lip behind here where I just cut her loose. Then I went on that side, so I'm gonna get this whole quarter out of the way and come back and peel those off real pretty like. I feel really good about that. I can actually get to the back side of all this lumpiness and hammer and dolly it out before the new quarter goes on. I don't know why in the world somebody dented that up like that. But doing the best they could at the time. I scratched myself a line here that's plenty far under here. I can feel through and feel the seam, factory seam is about right there. So if I cut that low, I can get into it and all that jazz. Gave me a quick cut here, so that's broken free. And I just put my blue tape line. I think I'm gonna try to plasma cut this, and I'll take my little grinder and knock off the little booger welds that they did with their tail panel and pull it off. But I'm already disconnected all the way on the bottom. I'm thinking I'm gonna take my plasma cutter, and remember there's a big hole right up here. Let me shine you. That big hole right there. I'm just gonna cut on the camera side of that seam. There you go. So big hole, just come down, it's fine. If I need to trim it later, I can, but it'll let me get everything out of the way, get all that stuff gone. And same thing here. I can get on the back side. I have my fire extinguishers ready this time, so shouldn't have an issue. Hopefully. Did a little bit of cleanup in here, vacuumed around, swept around. You can see my early failed attempts at cutting this off when I was laying underneath it. So that's all gonna go. I can see these spot welds fairly easily. I'm gonna hit them with my wire wheel, come back through and drill. This is the less fun part, as y'all probably seen all over the internet, because that sandwiches between that panel there. So there's a small panel that sandwiches. It stops sandwiching here, but then it sandwiches again down here, so it's behind that. So I need to find those panels or spot welds, and then it spot welds into here. I'm not sure about that piece. I'll see what I can do with it. I may just toss it. What my new boy looks like here. Yeah, I either can toss it or just replicate it with a square piece of metal or something if I want to. We'll see how it goes. I'll do it to the nicest of my ability. The copy of the panel looks pretty good, and I can use, I bet you, one of these 2 holes for alignment stuff. There we go. I know that rearward hole there lines up pretty well, and I want to keep this nice factory rolled edge best I can, not grind it off or lose it. I just think it looks kind of good. I still have to address all that ugly in there, but might be easier to do with the quarter panel off instead of trying to lay in there on my head later and do it. So we shall see, as always. And more yumminess. Also, lead. Well, the plasma cutter makes quick work of it. I'm sure most of y'all will say I don't know how to use it the right way, but sure works fast. I gotta trim that little section right there with a cut-off wheel or something, and then I can toss this dude. Go to clean it up a little bit here. Here's what progress looks like. I'm getting pretty close. I almost got that hole lined up. This is the inside panel will conform a little bit more. I got to pop this back off and just bend this up out of the way for a while. I had elected to get that underneath, so I drilled those 5 spot welds, 6, whatever, and just pried that out so it'll slide under it nicely. They give you a flared lip here all the way down, and I'm putting that on the outside of this other. There's another brace under there, and I had to slot that just a little bit. Not a biggie, but you see there's a gap right here, so I'm just going to take probably a block of wood and a hammer right now, tap that forward after I bend this up, because really it'll be much easier to tap that down. But you see I still got right here, that lip needs to go on further up. So if I just start in the front hammer around, getting it lined up more and more, I can zip me a couple screws in, keep hammering around if I need to, because it, you know, it tells you when it's ready and it likes being lined up. But so far, I think the piece is pretty nice. Goal for the end of the day is I'll get that bent into place and we'll just hang our quarter on. See how well it fits to this. I know there's several other steps I got to clean up. I got to coat stuff. I still got to break free the front side of that. But I got to find a stopping point at some point, right? Now, doesn't that look so much better than what we started with? I still got more work to do, but I got to break this up into 2 parts. It is driving me crazy. I got lots of footage. This goes underneath, just like this side. But I've got it hanging on there right now. For a little bit of perspective, that's all. The other thing was, I wanted to see how nice this stuff's mating up. It's looking pretty good. I still got to go forward and up with that, but the lip follows it really, 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 really nicely. See our ugly stuff in there. I still got to weld up from previous centers, and you can see the ground down lip. I went around and knocked off from when they put their big 2-inch wide piece of stuff in there. Still got to go up with that and take off all that ugly, but rockers look really good. I punched a hole somewhere accidentally, but I'm gonna weld it up. But we're in business. And I think the quarter's gonna line up nicely. I got the door cracked just a little bit right now. She's looking good, so thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.